Now, the Iranian foreign minister says the world must stand up against what he calls U.S. law-breaking behavior or pay a high price. Mohammad Javad Zarif added that Washington has not only violated terms of the Iran nuclear deal, but it also wants world countries to break international law. Zarif called on remaining signatories to the deal to take practical measures and salvage the agreement. Tehran has time and again said it will abandon the agreement if other signatories fail to secure Iran's interests amid U.S. attempts to pile more economic pressure on the Islamic Republic. Under the deal, Iran accepted some restrictions on its nuclear program. That was in exchange for removal of nuclear-related sanctions, but Washington then withdrew from the deal in May and reimposed unilateral sanctions against Tehran. Joining us out of Ontario now is Mr. Jason Unruhe, political commentator. Hello, Jason. It's a pleasure to have you back on the program. Now it's funny that Mohammad Javad said he's not the only person that's echoed this resentment. I mean, the administration we're seeing right now in Washington, either is through a political bullying, economic bullying, or military bullying. They're even with friends and foes. That's what it's doing to try to get whatever ends it wants to achieve. Your thoughts when people are going to finally get tired of this and stand up to Washington?
Well, I think the Trump administration is definitely pushing this all the way to the wall. They're going to make this into a major issue that may possibly even come to blows. I think that previously Iran has made it clear that if the line is crossed, and that line being the removal of its energy resources from the world market, that they would then proceed to shut down the Strait of Hormuz to anybody else's energy, that being oil or liquefied natural gas. As it is, it's necessary for everyone trading using the Strait of Hormuz to pass through Iranian territory in order to do so. And Iran is within its full legal right to shut that down if they should decide to do so, which would cause tremendous chaos within the international community, particularly with regards to energy resources, as it is 1/3 of all seaborne energy resources pass through the Strait of Hormuz right now. That would end up being blocked. I think that the whole point of the Trump administration is to try to push everything as far as he can. I mean, if we just look at what happened. Sorry?
Go. It's funny, I was going to just mention that let's just take Iran out of the equation. Let's talk about where you're at, Canada. Look how polite Chrystia Freeland tried to be yesterday in addressing the fact that Donald Trump said that he's going to write up a new NAFTA agreement to benefit, however he wants to, revise it to benefit only, Washington. And guess what? Canada's going to accept it. Freeland tried to be very polite on, in her presser there, not to, basically blast back at Washington. She's trying to be very cordial in her negotiations with Robert Lighthizer, the trade minister there in Washington. But, Canada is really, you could see the frustration both in Trudeau and Freeland with this Washington administration.
Oh, definitely. They've been just as hostile to, well, not as hostile, but they've still been hostile towards Canada, even though we've been, the largest trading partner that the U.S. has ever had. We shared the longest undefended border in world history. We are closer economically tied than basically any other two countries in the entire world. We've had a relatively beneficial relationship. We've both managed to take advantage of Mexico through the NAFTA agreement, which Trump has decided to just throw in the garbage, and then demand that a new one be written more to his taste, more to American benefit, and then insult Canadians on top of it, even going so far as to complaining that he can't have the other side killed. He said famously in that leak that was brought out by Bloomberg Toronto Star that he said, well, I can't kill them. I mean, that's, for someone who's supposed to be your closest ally and closest trading partner, that's just simply unacceptable. And frankly, as Canadians, we do have a tendency to be very polite about these things. But even this attack by Donald Trump has been pushing our patience quite hard.
I want to thank you for joining us once again on the program. Mr. Jason Unruhe, political commentator there out of Ontario, Canada.